So in lesson 9.9, this last lesson in the chapter, we're going to do some operations with integers. We're going to do some problems where there are a number of different operations and you have to follow the order of operations in order to find the answer. Okay? So this first part is just reviewing those steps. PEMDAS, P, work inside parentheses first. And when you're working in the parentheses, you have to follow the order of operations. So that means inside the parentheses, if there's exponents, you have to do those first. If there's addition and multiplication inside the parentheses, then what would you have to do first? If there's addition and multiplication in the parentheses, what would you do first? Would you do addition or multiplication first? Multiplication. Okay? So you work everything inside parentheses first. And simplify that. Then you simplify exponents. Before going on to adding and subtracting, you simplify exponents. The powers, like in the first example. Then you do all multiplication and division in the entire problem. And then finally do addition and subtraction. So this first example says -4 squared plus -1 times -6. So there are no parentheses. Well, there's parentheses, but it's already simplified in the parentheses, right? There's no other operations to do. And what we have to do with this is square it. So like it says, we have to do -4 times -4. -4 squared means we have to do -4 times -4. Then -4 times -4 is 16. And we wouldn't add the -1 first. Why not? Why wouldn't we do 16 plus -1? Why not do 16 plus -1? Nate, why not do 16 plus -1 first?
Because the -1 is, well, no, because the 4 is in the parentheses.
No, we already did that.
Yeah,
That's
I
16.
got 16's down there.
So
And
then why not do
that's
16 plus -1?
because plus
Plus,
is not before time.
correct, time comes before plus.
Pay
Yeah,
attention, yeah.
yeah,
Not really, but
yeah, attention.
Pay attention.
So we have to do the times first. -1 times -6. And then add. And get 22. Okay? Read it.
Why did you? I don't get it. I mean, like, I get it,
Okay.
but I don't know why you. Because the exponent sign in the parentheses, so you don't really do it first.
Yes, you do.
Why?
Because the exponent applies to -4.
But he's not in the parentheses.
Doesn't have to be in the parentheses to apply to it. It's right next to the parentheses.
It says,
It's the next thing to the parentheses.
but you always do the parentheses first, and that's not in the parentheses.
But is there anything else to do inside of the parentheses?
No.
Then that's simplified. So then you take the exponent and apply it to whatever is in the parentheses. Okay? Let's look at some more examples. Let's look at this one. -8 plus 6 to the second power. So we would add this first, and then do -2, and we have to bring down that squared, the exponent, and then add at the end. Okay? Any questions on this example? All right, let's go to your worksheet. take a look at the first one. It says negative 5 squared plus negative 3 times 4. What should you simplify first? Kate? The negative 5 squared? What's negative 5 squared? Andreas?
25.
25, so write the 25. And then, put the plus sign. And should we add negative 3 next?
No,
What should we do next?
3 times 4.
3 times 4, but it's not 3 times 4, it's negative 3 times 4. So we have to do negative 3 times 4, which is negative 12. And then simplify that. So that equals 13. Okay? Any questions? Olivia?
How do you get negative?
It's not negative 13. Did I say negative 13?
I meant 13.
25 plus negative 12. So we just do 25 minus 12. And it equals 13.
Oh, okay.
Now, in the next part, in the bottom section, it says to write a rule for each pattern. Now, in this case, we're going to be finding a rule to get the next term, it's called, the next number in the order. Okay? So at number 4, it has these numbers, 7, and then 4, and then 1, and then negative 2, and then 2 blanks. Okay? So what we have to do is find the rule and then find the next 2 numbers. Well, there's 2 things that you can look for. These are the main 2 that you're going to look for. Should I add? Should I add? Or should I multiply to get the next term? Well, if you're going to multiply, or sometimes it's divide, but division and multiplication are related, just like addition and subtraction are related. Can I find a factor to multiply to get to the next term? Probably not. What would the difference be between these 2 terms? What is the difference? 3. So it's a difference of 3. What could I add then to 7 to get 4? Add negative 3. What if I did that between these 2? Would that work? So when you're writing your rule, write it as an addition rule.
Why?
Add negative 3. Okay? Add negative 3. Why would you do that? Because it's easier to add negative to negative 2 than it is to subtract. So if we add negative 3, what do you get in this box? Negative 5. And then plus negative 3, and you get negative 8. Okay? So look for these 2 to write your rules. Find the difference, and then try to figure out what you would add to get to the next one. Or what would you multiply to get to the next one. Sometimes they'll be positive and sometimes they'll be negative. Okay? look at number 5. This pattern, -1, 3, -9, and then a number, and then -81. And then +243. So think add or multiply. What do you think? It's kind of like trial and error then. Once we figure out should we add or multiply. Abby? Multiply. Should we try multiply?
By 3.
Times what? 3? So -1 times 3 is,
Yeah, see, this is confusing.
oh.
Yeah, this is confusing.
Okay, we've got the right, we're close, we've got the right factor, except it's the wrong sign. Divide by? No, it's multiply. Okay, Nate?
Wait, I think, like, you would do -1 times -3, and then it would be, the next one would be,
Yeah, that would equal 3.
and then, yeah, it would be -3.
Times, would that work?
Yeah. Uh-huh,
Yep. And then times -3.
27.
Positive. Negative times negative is
And that's
positive.
See, there.
And that works, doesn't it? So what's our rule?
Times negative.
Multiply by -3.
You have to put the word by in there, or can you just put multiply by? Can you just put multiply -3?
Multiply -3.
It's 2 letters. Yeah, I know, but
Multiply by -3. Okay.
2 letters.
All right.
Because I have to put them in like 13 problems.
Do both sides for tomorrow. Finish this worksheet. Okay?